My world was always one of magic and distance. From my cozy spot by the window, I'd watch the shimmering lights dance across the valley, a symphony of colors that promised endless wonder. They were grand, those lights, and the figures who wielded them were even grander. Mages, heroes, legends, they moved with a power I could only dream of. I was just Barnaby, a Dachshund with short legs and a long body, content to observe their dazzling world from afar. Life was simple: a warm hearth, a soft blanket, and the distant, reassuring glow of magic. I thought it would always be that way. I thought the light was eternal, a constant star in my quiet sky. But some things, even the most brilliant, are not meant to last forever. I watched them. I always watched them. Their silhouettes against the magical aurora were a familiar comfort. But today, something was different. The vibrant hues began to dim, the brilliant streaks of power sputtering like a dying candle. A cold stillness settled over the valley, a silence I had never known. And in that silence I felt a flicker of something new, something chilling: fear. It started as a knot in my stomach, then spread through me like a winter frost. The stories the elders told came rushing back, tales of the shadow Maya, a creeping darkness that swallowed light and hope. They said it would one day consume everything. I had always dismissed them as just stories. But now, as the last vestiges of magic vanished, leaving only a haunting twilight, I knew the stories were real. They're lost, all of them. The great heroes, the wise mages, all swallowed by the encroaching shadows. The light, it's all gone. And now, the darkness is seeping closer, its cold tendrils reaching for my home, for everything I've ever known. Panic sets in. My heart is pounding against my ribs, a frantic drum in the terrifying quiet. I'm just Barnaby, a Dachshund. My greatest feats are navigating the stairs and convincing my human for an extra treat. What could I possibly do against a darkness that even the mightiest couldn't defeat? It feels hopeless. But then, I look at the empty space where the lights used to be, and a different feeling starts to bubble up, pushing past the fear. It's a tiny spark, a stubborn refusal to just lie down and let the dark win. Maybe I can't fight it head-on, but maybe, just maybe, there's something I can do. Every step was a battle, every shadow a potential threat. My own fear was a constant companion, whispering doubt with every rustle of leaves, with every snap of a twig. The path to the shadow Maya was longer and more treacherous than I could have ever imagined. My short legs ached, my paws were sore, but I pushed on. The air grew colder, thick with a sense of despair that threatened to suffocate me. The world I knew, full of warmth and color, was gone, replaced by this monochrome landscape of dread. I saw other creatures, bigger and stronger than I, turning back, their faces etched with terror. They told me I was a fool, that I was walking into my own demise, and a part of me, the scared part, screamed at me to listen, to go back to the warmth of my home. But the image of that fading light, of the heroes vanishing, it kept me moving forward, one painful step at a time. It wasn't strength I needed. It was a different way, a small way. I watched the shadows twist and writhe, great looming monsters of despair that had defeated warriors. But as I crept closer, my nose to the ground, I saw something else. The shadows were vast, but they had gaps, tiny tunnels and crevices, far too small for any hero in shining armor to notice, let alone pass through. They were so focused on the big picture, the grand battle, that they missed the details. They tried to fight the darkness with overwhelming light, a head-on collision. But I was small. I wasn't made for grand collisions. I was made for burrowing, for squeezing into tight spaces, for seeing the world from a different perspective. My size, which had always felt like a limitation, was suddenly an advantage. The path wasn't over the darkness, it was through it. This was it, the end, the heart of the Shadow Maya, a pulsating mass of pure despair, a void that drank all light and sound. The heroes were trapped within, their light faint and flickering, almost extinguished. The darkness was closing in for the final, crushing blow. My legs trembled. The sheer hopelessness of the place was overwhelming. I was just a tiny dog in the face of an ancient, all-consuming evil. I was too small. This was a mistake. No! I shook my head, the thought jolting me. I wasn't too small. I had come this far. I had navigated the treacherous paths, slipped through the grasping shadows, all because of my size. I couldn't fight it, but maybe I didn't have to. I was just the right size, the right shape, while the darkness was focused on the trapped heroes, on snuffing out their grand magic. You didn't notice the tiny creature weaving through the tangled roots at its base. I found it a slender channel, a tiny artery of shadow leading directly to the core. It was a path no one else could have taken. I squeezed through, my heart pounding, and emerged into the very center of the void. And there, I did the only thing a Dachshund could do. I dug. I tunneled through the soft, corrupt earth beneath the core, creating a small, almost insignificant channel, a tiny pinprick of an opening to the world outside. A cool, fresh breeze, carrying the scent of morning dew and damp earth, trickled in. A single, pure ray of dawn sunlight pierced the gloom. They say magic is for the grand and the mighty, but sometimes It's about finding the one small crack in the darkness. That single ray of light was all it took. It struck the trapped magic of the heroes, and they ignited, not as a fading ember, but as a roaring inferno. Light erupted from the core, shattering the despair. The shadows recoiled shrieking as they dissolved into nothing. The heroes were free, their power restored, brighter than ever before. They looked around, bewildered, searching for the great champion who had saved them, but they didn't see me. I was already trotting back home, just a little dachshund covered in dirt. I wasn't a hero, I was just Barnaby, and sometimes being just the right size is all the magic you need. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed Barnaby's tale, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.